Alright, welcome back to The Rising of the Should Hero anime review, episode number 40. Yep, episode 40 of the show. We're here reviewing the 60th episode of the series, known as Prayer. This can tell anyways. Adapt to the second half of chapter 10 and the first half of chapter 12. You're thinking, what about chapter 11? That was adapted pretty early on, like roughly, I think they adapted this just before they went to Q2. I think it was before they went to Q2. I think it was they adapt this one. Yeah. So what happens in the episode? Well, everybody's basically like, oh, we're gonna fight, take back the capital, and then Raphtalia meets up with a Water Miko who was basically the person, sister. Of course, she is known at this point. They chat for a bit, and they want to basically just. Of course, the thing is, the people hate the government because they see it as people who run it as terrible people. Yeah, terrible people, and they describe them as sort of like tyrants. They don't say that in the episode, but yeah. So in exchange for not for any bloodshed, the Water Miko proceeds to just give the rebel army the old capital without any bloodshed. You're like, okay, a lot of this episode is a lot of chit-chat in this episode. Yes, they do in fact take the capital. She does, of course, get scolded by the Emperor's advisor for daring to give way to the old capital, despite the fact, basically, her whole thing of being Miko, they even have where, because Raphtalia is officially going to become the Empress. Well, the Heavenly Emperor now. Yeah, officially become the Heavenly Emperor. And, well, she's going to be coronated, but not just yet because, well... And, of course, basically, it's like, okay, let's have her go out. And then we have the Water Miko. Of course, they don't show what she looks like. She goes back to her killer whale form. And, of course, when Raphtalia meets her, she meets her in her killer whale form. But then, of course, transforms into her human form. And I'm like, Raphtalia, you do know she looks like the woman who travels with you. The one who looks a lot like a big sister. And I'm kind of like, how can no one put two and two together about this? I mean, yeah, she's from the same clan as Shadia. But, she looks exactly like her. I'm like, my gosh, it's so much disbelief here. As a viewer, I can tell, oh, that's the sister. That's the younger sister. Nope, nobody brings it up here. Nobody does. And, let's see. Well, we don't see much of the old capital per se, and then, of course, the episode ends with Shadia just showing up where she's drunk and she wants to take on some representative, possibly go back to the old capital. And apparently it looked like she's definitely jumped because she basically went through about 20 jugs of alcohol. And also, get this. Naofumi calls the Blacksmith Master, finally calls him Mafusa II. Because he's never referred to that name at all. In the previous 9 episodes. Ever since he first met him. Just a handful of episodes back. He's never referred to him like that. Never has. All of a sudden, now it's okay to refer to him like that. And speaking of Mafusa, we do briefly see him in the episode with him and a bunch of Philos, where they pretty much basically are in a carriage. We actually see a person to hear his voice. And this scene here is loosely taken from book 11. Yes, book 11. A scene that was probably going to be adapted for the previous season of the show, but they skipped it. So they threw in these characters here in a part of the book they didn't really appear in. But not much else to say. Also, you see him painting a picture of Philo because he's obsessed with this little girl. And I'm kind of like, dude, find yourself a real woman who's around your age, not a little girl. I get the fact she's cute, but come on. It's like, I'm sure that Fumar feels the same way about this, that he really wants to punch this guy so bad in the face. They also put out in the episode where they really see everything. Apparently, they got stronger when they're working together. And of course, they do show in flashback when they're fighting the priest in the first season show, which that was mentioned in the book. You remember when we fought that priest? Basically back in the first season show, and here it's like they just show it. They don't mention it, but just show it, which I thought that was really cool. They did it. Otherwise, though, not much else happens in episodes. Like, we set up for something that probably, because we're about to wrap the season up. Yeah, we're about to wrap it. We only have 2 more episodes left to go, and then we're done. Now, do I hope that we might get a season 5 out of this? Oh, heck yes. Definitely. I'm really hoping for season 5, but that depends on the studio who makes it. Yep. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, to notifications. Next up, Don to Don. Okay, thanks, Phil. Bye.